Shalom, my name is Ayamel Bracamontes and I will be sharing here sometimes with the Beth Ariel team. I do want to tell you also that we are live here on YouTube at 11 a.m. every Saturday for Shabbat service. You can join us here on YouTube and you can subscribe to this channel so you can get also the notifications. Just turn on the notifications, and then also you can join us in person as well in Tarzana, California at 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. in Valencia, California. We look forward to meeting you here in the socials. You can comment, like, and we look forward to also meeting you in person when you can join us. Thank you so much. Today I am so excited to share about the Shema. The Shema is my favorite prayer to pray in the morning and in the night, and it just is really the perfect way to start and end a day. The Shema, as some people say, it's a prayer, some people say it's a declaration. I think it's both a prayer, a declaration, and I think it's just a powerful thing to do and say and declare. The Shema is something that parents sometimes teach their children when they are learning to speak, and I think it's a great idea to do that. So the Shema begins in Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 to 9, and then it continues with Deuteronomy 11, chapter 11, verses 13 to 21. It ends in Numbers 15, verses 37 to 41. The first part of it is a declaration, a prayer. The second part of it is the instruction of the Lord to us. And the third part of it is, I want to say, a symbol that the Lord gives us to help us remember what He is saying. Now, the first part of it in Deuteronomy 6 says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord, the only Lord. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your entire being, with all your might. And these words which I am commanding you this day shall be first in your own minds and hearts, and then you shall teach them and make them penetrate and teach and impress them diligently upon the minds and hearts of your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up." And this is the last part of it. "And you shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and your gates." Now, this is the first part of the Shema. What I pray when I pray is I go like this. I say, "Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad." And I think it's fun to do it. I get to practice my Hebrew, and I also get to just sing, which I love to do. You can say it in the way that you want, and some people only say the first part of it. You can choose to say and do make of it what you decide. But I think it's important to read the whole thing, to recite the whole thing, and we mainly do it not because God needs it, but because we need it, because our mind needs to understand. Our bodies need to be reminded that the Lord is God. Our spirit, all of our being needs to be reminded that our God is the one that holds it all. And so we continue with Deuteronomy 11 verses 13 to 21, where we continue here, and it says 13 to 21, "It shall come about, if you listen obediently and pay attention to my commandments, which I command you today, to love the Lord your God and to serve Him with all your heart and with all your soul, your choices, your thoughts, your whole being, that He will give the rain for your land in its season, the early fall rain and the late spring rain, so that you may gather in your grain and your new wine and your olive oil. And He will give grass in your fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Be aware that your hearts are not deceived, and that you do not turn away from the Lord and serve other gods and worship him. Worship them. Or else the Lord's anger will be kindled and burned against you, and he will shut up the heavens so that there will be no rain, and the land will not yield its fruit, and you will perish quickly from the good land which the Lord is giving you. Therefore you shall impress these words of mine on your heart and on your soul, and tie them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as brands on your forehead. You shall teach them diligently to your children, impressing God's precepts on their minds and penetrating their hearts with his truth, speaking of them when you sit in your house and when you walk along the road and when you lie down and when you rise up. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates, so that your days and the days of your children may be multiplied in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give them, as long as the heavens are above the earth. Isn't that wonderful? I think I read a little too much. I didn't. What a promise, what a way. Pretty much, if you want to have a long life, remember who the Lord is. Remember your God. And so one way that we can remember here is given to us in Numbers 15, 13 to 41. And this is what it says. 37 to 41, I'm sorry. And the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and bid them make fringes or tassels on the corners or the corners in the borders of their garments through their generations, and put upon the fringe of the borders or upon the tassel of each corner a cord of blue." It's kind of like, that tassel you wear when you're graduating. And it shall be to you a fringe or tassel that you may look upon and remember all the commandments of the Lord and do them, that you may not spy out and follow after the desires of your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to follow and play the harlot spiritually, if not physically, that you may remember and do all my commandments and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. Isn't the Lord amazing? I love God, how he just loves to remind us that he's our God and that he's our beloved and that he's our husband and that we are the bride and that we are his. And it's just, what a beautiful, God is just amazing. Don't we love God? And so, when you are praying the Shema, it's so important that we don't go into a routine. That we don't go into a routine where we just, we pray and we recite it in the morning and in the evening, and that is it. It's so important that we allow all of us, our whole being, to feel it and to not jump into and have it be a routine. It is so beautiful when we are having a conversation with someone and both of the people, both that person we're speaking with and us, it's so beautiful when we are fully in the moment, when we're fully enjoying each other's company. And what a beautiful thing it is when we pray, we are meaning what we say, we are receiving what we say, because it is really needed that when we pray this, when we pray the Shema, we really mean it, and we just picture it as unto the Lord. And we picture the Lord saying these things to us, not in a tone where he is mad or he is, giving you instructions like any parent does, right? But he is more giving us these instructions, these things in advice, a way of him communicating to us his love and the way that we may remain with him, that we may remain in God. And so I pray this blesses you. I pray this strengthens you. You can sing the Shema. You can read it in English, in Hebrew. You can dance it. I encourage you to get engaged with God in the morning and in the evening. It is such a beautiful way to connect with God. I pray this blesses you. I pray this strengthens you and that it helps you. So bless you guys and have a wonderful, wonderful day. I also wanted to invite you to subscribe and then turn on the notifications so that way you can know when we are streaming live our Shabbat service in Tarzana at 11 a.m. You are able to join us either in person or here on YouTube. And then the other option is you can also come to our Valencia gathering at 6 p.m. We are so excited to meet you either here on the socials. You can also be with us on Instagram and yeah, connect with us. We would love to get to know you and maybe sometime meet you in person. So thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day.